Hey there folks, so today's class is a grade 12 close reading discussion lesson with a focus on InTASC standards 1 to 8, and we're going to be using a text called The Wage Gap Myth. The lesson we're going to watch today is the final part of a 4-part lesson series in which grade 12 English students will engage in a text discussion. But before we get to the class discussion, let's take a look at some helpful context and the preparation that took place beforehand. It starts with working with a colleague to create a class that looks to foster individual and collaborative learning, positive social interaction, active engagement in learning, and self-motivation. And why did we decide on a close reading and class discussion? Because of all of these reasons listed here. These skills are not only important for academic success, but also for college and career readiness. And following our chat and previous class discussions, some adjustments were made to improve student engagement, comprehension, and analysis of the text. The objective of these adjustments was to stimulate a more effective discussion on the text. An additional session was incorporated and supplementary support was provided. Students will do the following over 4 class periods. In Class 1, they'll acquaint themselves with the article. In Class 2, they'll analyze the article. In Class 3, they'll complete a quiz and focus on discussion questions. And in Class 4, they'll participate in an open class discussion on the article. That's what we'll be watching today. The text we're looking at is from the Purposeful Argument book. Engaging students in discussions about the wage gap is valuable as it introduces them to the complexity of this real-world issue and exposes them to diverse perspectives. Exploring the nuances of this contentious issue cultivates critical thinking, empathy, and a deeper understanding, empowering students to actively engage in conversations and strive for what they deem to be a more just society. The following section will provide a summary of the key tasks from the 3 classes preceding the Class 4 discussion. Class 1. The class commenced with an initial evaluation of the prior in-class discussion and its effectiveness. Here's a summary of the students' observations on the positive aspects of the discussion and areas for improvement. Here are the things they felt they did well. And here are the things they felt they could improve upon. Prior to receiving the text, students were posed questions to prompt their personal connections with the topic. Here are those questions. For additional context, students were provided a 2023 interview titled "The Most Popular Explanation for the Gender Pay Gap is Wrong," conducted by Big Think with Richard Reeves. This is it here, sped up. Students were provided with access to Padlet to collaboratively share and contribute research resources related to the topic of the wage gap. Students were then given the text to read. Class 2. Students were given a graphic organizer on Google Docs to aid in analyzing the text. Students were also given the discussion questions on Google Docs, enabling them to selectively respond to their preferred queries. The objective was to gather written answers for all questions prior to the class discussion, ensuring that every student had access to the information. Students were then provided with a teacher-annotated text to assist with their comprehension and analysis of the text. In Class 2, we noticed some students were simply copying and pasting their answers from ChatGPT and/or Google. So after a little in-class talk on responsible tech use, students were sent a reminder via text message. Beloved students, just a wee little reminder. I'm so very happy that you guys are using ChatGPT to help you with your analysis of the text. ChatGPT is a super useful tool that can provide you with plenty of information and insights, but it is not a substitute for your own understanding and expression. You need to be able to explain the text in your own words and relate it to the topic of our table discussion. You also need to consider who your audience is and what they expect from you, which in this case is your fellow classmates. So be sure to be using language they can understand. Don't just repeat what ChatGPT says or read from a script. That will make your discussion boring and unengaging. Don't be boring and unengaging. Be interesting and engaging. How? Come in prepared with some notes and questions that you can use to spark a lively and meaningful conversation. If we all do that, we will have a most lovely discussion. Class 3. The class commenced with a Kahoot quiz aimed at evaluating students' comprehension of the assigned text. The answers to the Kahoot quiz were discussed with the students. Because of the large number of students, it was decided that we would split into 2 groups. And as students had already provided written answers to the questions in the previous class, they were not assigned specific questions to answer in the class discussion. Instead, they were given the freedom to contribute their thoughts and ideas as they saw fit in order to facilitate a more free-flowing conversation. The students were grouped heterogeneously, and here's the result of that process. The discussion facilitator is a student chosen by the teacher. The discussion facilitator is tasked with leading and guiding discussion to ensure that it is productive, inclusive, and engaging for all participants. The teacher will serve as the timekeeper. The timekeeper is tasked with monitoring and managing the time allocated for discussion to ensure that it stays on track and within the specified time frame. Here's the rubric the students were given prior to their class discussion. And just a couple of things to note with regards to the discussion. Everyone participated to at least a question, but not everyone made the final cut of this video lesson. The full video of the class discussion will be shared on ManageBack. This will provide families of students with access to the video, allowing them to remain informed about their children's progress and ask any relevant questions they may have. In the upcoming week, we intend to review segments of the complete video with our students to analyze strengths and areas for improvement. Class 4. And here's the class discussion. Okie dokie. So guys, last one. All right. Last class discussion on a text. Let's finish strong. Yeah. So we got the text. We've been working on the questions already. We've got answers on the Google Form sheet, right? It's a case of kind of expanding on those answers now, right? Remember, we don't want to just read from the script, right? We want to actually discuss as well. Hello. Are we listening? So we got over here, we got Nathan and Simon. You guys are going to be running the discussion, right? You guys bring other people in. Yeah. Remember, you can bring outside resources, outside opinions as well, right? Expand on the conversation. And over here, we got Abby. Yes, Abby, you're going to be running the discussion. Remember, just a case of bringing people in and talking about the text, right? All right, any questions before we get started? No? No. Happy? Yeah? All right, let's go. All right, should we start? Go for it, guys.
Okay, everybody. Welcome to the... All right, move on to the next question. What is the main argument presented in the text? How is it supported and developed throughout the passage?
I think the main argument in the text is that the wage gap is not due to sexism, but the matter of choice. The author supported his argument by providing us some data and examples, for example. But the author said that women tend to work fewer hours because they choose to get higher education or go back to them. And he refuted the counter-argument that it is due to
graphs from
Great answer. I believe that's when we are clear about how it's supported and the main argument presented, because it's the most part we're talking about, and I believe it's up clear like most percentage of the argument. And let's see the fourth question.
Was that our initial impression before reading the article as well? Did we agree with the main argument being put forward in this text before reading it, and then what about afterwards as well?
I think I disagree before reading it, and I can see how the author is right in some point, but I still believe that sexism is a major reason. Because in some parts, like the author that the choice is the reason behind wage gap, but I think the difference in choice is also due to that.
Okay, Iris, I see you nodding your head very fervently there, yeah? Do you want to add something?
Yeah, I agree with Megan said. That actually there is no much choice for women in this kind of job market, because all of the women, they are required to marry some guy or having baby, and these are choices that women cannot to escape from responsibilities.
Okay, so now having a baby is not really a choice.
How does the author
Is that kind of what we're saying? Like these?
For some of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some of the country. I think the author would have.
Yeah, I guess that's fair, right? Bringing the culture of the country into it. I mean, what do we think about here? China.
It's too sensitive to talk about this.
What's sensitive about this?
so we just ignore it. Because you can't talk about it in public, so we don't talk about it here.
Can't talk about the wage gap in China in public?
No, there's no wage gap. Let's just move on. Let's just focus on the passage for now.
We'll move on and we'll come back to it later. All right, go.
Okay, let's see the pieces responses here. I would
anticipate counter-arguments or opposing viewpoints. How are they expressed?
And if we're good at this, we move on to the next one.
Part of the
Assumptions such as something about some readers' knowledge and opinions regarding the wage gap issue.
Right. No. Yes. Actually, it has mentioned a lot of problems. For example, in the first few paragraphs of this, the first few points of this passage, this reading, the author actually thinks, or the readers actually have this point of women is actually earning less, no matter what, than male workers. But however, it got some paragraphs about why women earns less than male workers, because women have to put more effort on other than just work. Well, male workers can mainly focus on their work. Female workers also they have to they have to work also be responsible for their child. It's mostly women are more responsible for their child about their earnings and living circumstances. So
How are they
the author is trying to is explaining to trying to eliminate. It can be seen as a counter argument that women, some people think women earn less than males. It's a normal circumstance, no matter what. The main focus of this point is that in all circumstances, women earn less than men. However, the author is trying to say women spend much more time on other things. That's the reason why women earn less than men.
Okay, fair enough.
So if we were just to sum up,
So basically, the counter
what is the
that
main,
works here, what is work for?
main
Why the author can counter
So
argument?
the main
Jason,
counter-argument
quick follow-up.
Here because he thinks that
some
with
people might say
the work
normally
he wrote
women
will be
earn less than
more
men. It's a general situation, but however, the
people
truth
say
is,
he posed some counter arguments that there are some
the
people
truth
that
is
doesn't
that
really
women have other things besides taking care of their babies,
Enhance our credibility, right? Everybody.
So that's the reason why they earn less, not because of the.
So I believe our
salary
question is fully
itself
answered.
different,
So
but because
I
of
can
the
legally
kind of
answer another question. So let's
yeah,
just
so
move
she's
on to the
basically
next
saying she
one.
acknowledges, right, that women do earn less in many respects than men, but it's a little bit more complicated than perhaps just the case of sexism, right?
Yeah.
She responds to it in that way.
Finally, we go to some core question here. Does the author anticipate counter-argument or opposing viewpoints?
So
How are they addressed or
the author
refuted?
is trying
Jason.
is explaining to
The author did anticipate some
trying
counter
to
arguments. For
eliminate.
example,
It can be seen as a
when there are
counter-argument
some
that
people
women
saying the woman works, they were paid 60 or 76 cents for every male dollar as an evidence for the counter argument, and they actually refuse and just saying that those are like women's own choice to choose discriminating or workplaces and those making those discriminating choices in the labor market.
Okay, fair enough.
So if we were just to sum up,
So basically, the counter argument that works here, what is work for? Why the author put counter argument here? Jason, it's a
He
quick
put
follow-up.
counter argument here because he thinks that with counter argument, the work he wrote will be more gain more trust with others. People say like he posts like some counter arguments that there are some people that doesn't agree with him, so he posts this like the reasons behind.
Yes,
What do you
enhance our credibility, right? Everybody,
Yeah.
yes, could agree with this.
So what's your opinion toward this question? I want to.
So I believe our question is fully answered.
Uh-huh.
So I can legally answer another question. So let's just move on to the next question.
What cultural, social, or political context is assumed for an class?
Okay, I agree with that. And what is this? How is it worked in design? This thing. Is it keywords?
No.
I think
Kind
this
of, it's
like
like
the
an argument.
Like an argument, and what style is it written?
political content is free about can
It's
be
beneficial, right? It's like also
traditional or
diction choice. What can we say about the word choice?
fashion like the author
word
was
choice is,
assumed that he may
Clearly,
intended or work more on like dealing with the
clearly
relationship
considered.
with others
Clearly
or
considered, yeah,
like
it's
dealing
okay, whatever.
with the kids, the other
Formal
family
and formal.
members, and maybe pay less time on work or pay
Formal?
more time
Formal, right? It's
on,
quite
like,
academic, it's quite
housework
objective
or
and
so,
tone, right? Neutral.
so that it takes them a long
Reasonable.
time, and all those
What do you mean by
concepts would be from a traditional cultural influence. I think.
Also, I think, based on this paragraph, I think the author
Okay, so using that to support their claim, right? So it's quite comprehensive.
sensitive on the sexist
So, yeah, plenty of
topic. So I think also
Um,
besides asking putting your attention into sexism topic and
Okay. I guess it's my question now. Are there any instances of biases or fascist reasoning? Let's write toward the next question. How does the author use statistical data and evidence to support their claims? Is the data reliable, relevant?
Okay, so in the second paragraph, the author wants to have an argument that the woman's age and man's age is almost the same, like in some point, and he gives the statistical. Former director of the Congressional Budget Office found that among people ages 27 to 33 who have never had a child, women's earnings approach 98% of men, which means that they are almost the same. Is the data reliable and relevant? Of course, this is reliable and relevant. And
How do we know that?
what do you mean? How do we know?
How do we know the data is reliable?
Because you have read it. You have read it. Of course, it's reliable.
Why is it reliable?
He wants to prove that man and woman's age is similar at some point, and he gives the data that their age is similar.
Okay, but, all right, let's consider the source first of all, right?
The source is Congressional Budget Office.
Okay.
Okay.
Trustworthy source?
Of course. Of course.
Okay, but why? I'm not disagreeing with you, Jack.
It's from the government.
So it's from the government. I mean, just because it comes from the government doesn't necessarily make it good.
Also,
reliable, right?
How many respondents?
But did we do any outside research as well?
Yes.
Did we find any other resources?
Yeah, I believe there's a homework that you have to find outside research. Did anybody find that?
What about you?
I'm a facilitator. My job is to magnate the seminar. So
At the same time answering some questions.
Yes, we don't know this question. Can you help us?
If we don't have any outside resources, then I guess we have to.
Did we do any research that is more recent as well? Do the findings stand up? Is it still the case? We
Yes.
still back up the findings.
Yes.
in this test? Okay, what have we got? We did the patent last time, right? Did we find anything that backs up these claims, or the findings from the Congressional Budget Office? Or anything that contradicts it, right? That would perhaps make it not so relevant.
Anyone find that? So disappointed, guys. So disappointed.
Okay.
There's no.
We'll come back to this question later then, yes? Let's continue on with the other ones. Remember, it's not a case of just because we agree with something or we disagree with something, it's either reliable or not reliable, yes? Alright, let's keep going. What's the next question?
Does the tax provide any recommendations or solutions to address the wage gap? How are they presented?
Has anybody not spoken to you yet, Happy? Yes?
Let's
bring everybody in. Yeah, everybody is full. Alright, well. What solutions does she offer?
I think the authors didn't give a specific solution or clear solution to tax, but she's kind of implying that women maybe they need to change their lifestyle, choosing they work with more work hours or trying some new field that they hardly enter or
so how does author
like that, because you give an information that the gender wage gap is closing and it's due to a few things, due to the change in many concepts of women now, and also especially the women is getting higher education than ever.
Yeah, I think that's a fair reading, right? She's highlighting problems and she's kind of...
I think the author is also inferring that if we want to decrease the wage gap, we need to decrease the discrimination against women or decrease the women making discriminating choices in the labor market.
All right. Well, are there any solutions? Do we know of any ways that can perhaps help this problem?
Maybe to restructure the social character. Like it doesn't mean that mothers need to take more care, because that fathers can also join the caring process, and the job of the family should be changed.
Interesting point, yes. All things going well, I should be having a little baby in a couple of weeks, right? And we get 10 days. Men get 10 days paternity leave. Women get 6 months. So maybe if that were to change, that could also help alleviate some discrimination.
I think the basic problem proposed by this passage is like this. So the main conflict is, should women earn more when working less time than men does? You can see the passage has said women has worked significantly less than males.
Okay, so potential solution is pay women more.
Totally agree on you.
Yeah.
Next question.
For the hours that they work. Any potential problems with that?
Do you agree with
I mean,
the author's argument
that
that
might-
the gender wage gap is
What's that, sorry?
and why?
Higher than men then, right? Yeah, so maybe.
Like just
I mean,
like
maybe some
Wait, do you
companies
agree
do
on
that.
that?
just like the policy for pregnancy, we can get 12 months out for the pregnancy, but it seems that it's protecting the woman, but in many companies they don't willing to pay those wages so they're unwilling to hire women that are pregnant or they don't have a baby, so it actually causes discrimination for this policy, not instead of improving the situation for women.
It's actually counterproductive. It makes sense. Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah, I mean, increased wages for women will actually, if you think from another way, it's like increasing wages for women means they earn more in the same time, in just the same time span than men does, and that will cause this discrimination to men. Yeah, why we're working more than the men still earn less.
Yeah.
In the same way.
I think
It's tough, isn't it? There's no easy
Is
answer.
it kind of
So I
like
think Abby's solution may be better. Like people should take both genders should take equal job in families instead of just paying more for less working hours in the jobs. It's not company will do that and make companies unhappy things in the company and working areas.
In an ideal world, I guess, yeah, we would be doing that. But
Yeah.
Amy, did you want to say something?
Agree?
I think maybe it's government's job
Okay,
to
alright.
surplus
Next time you can say it
married
free so we all know
women.
what, okay.
Like for
Never mind.
example,
What's your
if
opinion
they
about
need to take
first
several
of all,
months to have a rest, maybe the
I
government
think
should pay
Evan's
them
idea
something.
is,
Okay.
his reasoning about this is full.
Okay, so there should be
however, I
government
disagree
assistance,
with
yes.
it, So
So that would
I
come
kind of
through
agree the
taxpayers'
author's
money, I guess,
argument,
right?
And,
Do we all agree with that, or is there any disagreement?
Surely.
Do we have that in China already, or no?
I don't know. I mean, for most of the time, the company pay all of them.
So it's the company that pays.
But still, if the government pay them, the government's money are from taxes, so it's you pay to yourself.
Anyway, yes,
no,
But
that raises other problems.
他给的少了就直接加人们谁
I'll let you guys continue.
Next question is about the tone of the text, and I believe it's neutral because the author she writes the whole passage with many good rhetorical device, and he puts his opinions and demonstrates it with very enough evidence, and she does not show any more attention to any one side, but she uses enough evidence and data to demonstrate her opinion. And the tone is contributes to the overall message with some logos. I mean.
Okay, I agree with that. And what is the tone? How is it written, this article, this text? Is it humorous?
No.
No.
It's kind of, it's like an argument.
It's like an argument, and what style is it written in? Pardon? It's quite official, right? It's quite also the diction choice. Well, what can we say about the word choice?
The word choice is clearly, what's that word again?
What's that word?
Clearly considered.
It's clearly considered, yeah, absolutely. What else? Formal, informal. Formal? Formal, right? It's quite academic, it's quite objective in tone, right? Neutral. Reasonable?
Yeah.
What do you mean by reasonable?
Just it's used data and some graph to provide size. It's not just like he said it's an apple or that is an apple. He used a language to provide it.
Okay, so using data to support their claims, basically, right? So it's quite comprehensive in that respect as well. So yeah, plenty of details in there as well, I'd say, right? All right. Let's keep going.
下一步地球这个词。
Amy, did you want to say
So
something?
you agree?
I disagree.
Okay, alright. Next time you can say it first so we all know what, okay. Never
So
mind.
what's your opinion about this?
First of all, I think Evan's idea is his reasoning about this is full. However, I don't disagree with her, so I kind of agree the author's argument, and right. And let's move on to the next question. Shirley, what are some of the factors that contribute to the gender wage gap?
There are mainly four factors, and the first is the different lifestyle. For example, women care more about their relationships than men, so their lifestyle difference. And the second is the average working hours for reasons such as childcare. Women work shorter hours on average. And the third is the pursuit of flexibility while working. For example, women seek more flexibility in their work and they tend to participate in some part-time jobs, while men don't. And the last is the choice of career direction. And the average salary of the career direction chosen by men is higher than that of women.
Well, do you agree with those factors? For example, like the first one you mentioned, that girls are more care about their relationship.
Maybe because according to this paragraph, the writer shows this point.
Wait a second, let's just go back to this. So women care more about their relationships with family and friends. This is a bold statement. Is this true? Are we going to explore this a little bit more?
As a man, I don't care.
Perhaps you've just been proved correct then there, Shirley. All right.
Okay, Shirley, you still have a chance to prove it wrong.
Is this true though? Do we all agree with this? Women care more about their relationships with family and friends than men?
Personally speaking, I
Are you
don't
happy
agree
hearing that,
with
Matt?
this.
Yeah.
What's that going to say?
Like personally speaking, I don't agree with this because I think like women are not care more about their relationships. But like according to this paragraph, the writer showed this point. Yeah.
But the writer could be a, idiot.
What is the writer hinting towards?
What are you talking about? What's all the language?
Generally speaking, it's the woman that tends to stay at home, right? And the man goes to work.
That's a stereotype, right?
This is what is being alluded to through the use of statistics in the article, right?
Yes.
I think it's just a wording issue, right? I don't think it's necessarily a case that women care more about their family than men. It's just there's certain gender roles that we have adopted in society, right? And that's what is being discussed in the text as well. All right. What's next, people? What's next?
Bias of the wage gap thing.
Yeah, I think it's actually
differently from
way
so
said
basically
before.
look the data from another country and writing from
Well,
this country. However, it could have some outliers.
It's
where
trying
you
to
have
just
some
say
other
it like
things-
in a
other-
fair
other
and
things
a neutral
that-
way. It's not like just kind of like being really.
About the statistics about the wage
Oh,
gap and
really
I believe it's
It's like
figure
you
second,
cannot
figure
think
two.
like yeah, you women
Okay.
deserve like that.
We all agree. That's
that will be like
Stephanie,
it will be taxed
how
as
does the
taxes
author
and it will
appeal
be
to the
like
reader's sense of fairness?
Yeah, you know,
just discussing the wage gap.
just attack on the internet. Well, so this guy is trying to be neutral. He just explained the counter argument because that's a kind of like a super dangerous topic to talk about.
Are you talking about the tone?
No, I'm talking about like how does the author address the potential counter argument? Yeah, I think that's a pretty dangerous topic because a lot of people have actually spoke that in foreign internet and they will be attacked by those like women rights people. Well, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we can talk about this. What's the best way to tackle a counter? When somebody disagrees with you, what's the best way to respond to
How they choose to give them specific information and statistics, and they can give those information to be persuasive, like from the government stats or from like some persuasive news also.
Yeah, so acknowledge the different point of view and then back up your claim, right? Your counterclaim with evidence, right? And that's usually the best way to be persuasive, right? Don't attack the person, right?
Yeah.
Refrain from using any ad hominems. And I mean, she kind of refrains from using passionate language here as well, right? The language is quite neutral, as Bob was saying as well, right? Do you think that helps her argument or not?
Of course, if you like someone tell you that the discrimination caused the wage gap and you just attack them, it will just make them anxious and angry and you cannot persuade them well. But if you just give them stats, they maybe think more and calm down.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a pretty emotionally charged topic, potentially, right? A lot of people get pretty angry pretty quickly. All right. Where are we going next, Andy? Just to come back, what were some of the challenges that we discussed here with regards to addressing the wage gap? Well, Ricky already talked about that.
Yes.
What can we sum up what Ricky said?
Like there's social discrimination and preoccupies society's the social structure and culture.
And the what?
So it's just social structure and culture.
Okay, and what are potential ways that we can combat the wage gap? How can we make it a little bit more even, more equal?
Yes. Girls, just let men see the talking power, right? You guys have to make your own voice.
What do you think? I just like some answers, but that's what ideas do you have? What are potential ways that we can help make the situation better?
I think we should do something in tax or this kind of money assistance for women who like plan to marry or have a baby.
Okay, so some kind of governmental assistance. All right, we will end here, people. Nice job.
We're better than the others.
Yeah. We were both equally brilliant. So.
因为这边有个柱，喜欢沉默人。
哦。